a project bringing solar energy into refugee settings and demonstrating how she explained herself how that awareness, that education that she's had and that she's using to support other women in her community to bring them out of their homes is actually really empowering them, not as jargon, in the true sense, really empowering them, and that is resilience. And also from Opira, who joined us online, in fact, from Uganda, a refugee originally from South Sudan, who is a young climate activist who's doing extraordinary work as a mobilizer in his community, where they've brought together, created his own organization with other refugees, other community members, and they're planting trees. So showing how his awareness, that he spoke very eloquently to how his own
حاجة للتمويل، ولكن واقع الأمر أنه في بعض البيئات ليس كلها نجد أن السياسات أو الأنظمة التي وضعت لا تسمح بالضرورة أن يحدث هذا. إذا من منا يستطيع أن يقول أن القطاع الخاص كلنا نستطيع أن نقول أن القطاع الخاص يجب أن يقوم بأشياء كثيرة، ولكن هناك من يقدمون التزامات في هذه القاعة، ليس فقط القطاع الخاص. إذن أحد الأشياء التي أطلقناها في كوب 26 هو أن يكون هناك شراكات عادلة في جنوب أفريقيا، وهذا ما تحدثنا عنه في كوب 26. أكثر من نصف مليار دولار من مجموعة السبعة ودول متقدمة أخرى، وكذلك من بنوك التنمية، حتى يكون هناك انتقال للطاقة النظيفة في جنوب أفريقيا. وفي كوب 27 وجدنا الرئيس رامافوسا يتحدث عن خطة الاستثمار. الهدف من هذا هو أن يكون لدينا خطة توجه الأموال الحكومية مع الأموال القطاع الخاص، وبالطبع هذا بحاجة إلى إصلاح تشريعي وسماح للقطاع الخاص بالعمل في هذا المجال، وكذلك العمل على شراكات أخرى مع ماليزيا وفيتنام وغيرها من الدول. وهناك نستطيع أن نرى مزيد من الإعلانات بعد ذلك. إذا سأعطي سيادتكم الفرصة، ولكن أراكم تريدون الإجابة عن هذا السؤال الخاص بالتمويل. كيف نستطيع أن نجعل بيئة مواتية نوفر بيئة موفية للتمويل؟ نعم، نحن ندرك التحدي، وأن التحدي خاصة في البيئة الاقتصادية الحالية، وأن هناك الكثير من الضغوط، ولكن كما قال نجاة، سواء كانت صعوبات اقتصادية أو صعوبات سياسية، فإن إذا لم نعترف بوجود هذه الصعوبات فإننا نعزل هذه المناقشات عن عن آليات التنفيذ، وكذلك تكون بمعزل عن الظروف، وستعيق أي طرف من الأطراف من العمل، وسيكون وضعا صعبا. يجب أن نستكمل تركيزنا على التنفيذ وأن نوفر التمويل، المليار دولار كإظهار الثقة والالتزام، ونحن بحاجة إلى هذا التمويل وكذلك تعزيز التمويل المقدم من القطاع الخاص للمنشآت الحكومية. كذلك نحن بحاجة إلى إصلاح البنوك المتعددة من أجل خفض التكلفة وتوفير الحوافز والضمانات من أجل مشاركة أكبر للقطاع الخاص. ومرة أخرى فإن المسألة الرئيسة هنا هي وجود إطار تشريعي، ويجب أن نرفع هذه الطموحات أثناء مؤتمر الأطراف هذا ومؤتمر الأطراف القادم 28. وفي كل مؤتمر أطراف يجب أن نستطيع أن نبين هذا للجمهور. لقد أتيت من اجتماع خاص بالشعوب الأصلية. هذه الشعوب الأصلية تأثرت بشكل كبير، أصبحت هذه المسألة مسألة حياة أو موت بالنسبة لهم، وهذه ليس سياقا للتفاوض، سياق طبيعي، ولكن نحن بحاجة إلى أن نضع مصلحتهم في المقدمة، لأن تغير المناخ يؤثر على معيشة هؤلاء الشعوب الأصلية وسبل حياتهم، ونحن لدينا مسؤولية إنسانية مشتركة، ونحن بحاجة إلى أن تنفيذ عمليات حقيقية يكون لها أثر حقيقي على الإنسان. نعم، تحدثتم عن كوب 28 وأن هناك موضوعات مستمرة، وبالطبع هناك زخم كبير تكون في هذا مؤتمر الأطراف 27. وما الذي نريد أن نتأكد ما هي الرسالة التي نريد أن نتأكد أنها موجودة؟ وعندما نفكر بشكل استباقي كيف سيشكل هذا الضغط حتى نستطيع أن نحقق ما نصبو إليه. نعم، العام القادم سيكون حدثا فريدا، وستكون الحصيلة فريدة، حيث سنرى ما الذي وصلنا إليه. وكما ذكر معالي الوزير يجب أن نكون أكثر طموحا، ونعم إن نتائج التقرير لا تبدو جيدة، ولكن من الهام أن ندرك من الآن كما ذكر معالي الوزير أن هذه القمة أو هذا المؤتمر مؤتمر تنفيذ، وهناك فرص نستطيع أن نغتنمها هنا في كوب 27 في مصر، وفي العام القادم في الإمارات العربية، ومبادرة السعودية الخضراء كلها تدفعنا إلى الأمام. بالنسبة لي سيكون من الجيد أن نرى أسواق إقليمية للكربون، وأن نقوم بزيادة الملاءة المالية وتعزيزها، كذلك الحراك من أجل وجود الكربون، عدم وجود الكربون أو إزالة الكربون في أنحاء المنطقة. نحن جميعا نركز الآن على الهيدروجين والCCUS، والمملكة العربية السعودية تبذل الكثير من الجهد في هذا الصدد، ومن الجيد أن نرى ما تستطيع أن تفعله التكنولوجيا. هناك أمل، هناك ضوء في نهاية النفق، ونحن أعتقد أننا نسير في الاتجاه الصحيح، ولكننا بحاجة إلى أن نسير بشكل أسرع، ويجب أن ننظر لهذا كفرصة للمسارعة في هذه الجهود، لأن من سينظرون إلى الوراء سيفكرون فيما يحدث اليوم وما يحدث العام القادم، وبالتالي يجب أن نوفر الأمل لكل هؤلاء الشعوب، لكل الشعوب. بالنسبة لمن يشاهدون هذا الحوار، ليس هذه الجلسة على وجه الخصوص، فإن السؤال موجه إلى صاحب السمو. إذا ما نظرنا إلى كيف
how for the Saudi Arabia to focus on the issue of the environment
على هذه المسألة في المنطقة. إذا
or in the region, how it help in maintaining such pressure just for the sakeness of having a world or a better world. Therefore, it is a good idea, and years to come will find some other events that the idea isn't applied. Firstly, my language, the second language is the English, but would say to maintain the momentum and should be independent to maintain itself, whereas the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, under its young leader, with the assistance of the young men and women, they wish to make the better for a better future. Therefore, they have a chance, we have a better chance with the youth to achieve such aspirations, because they are the beneficiaries of such aspirations and ambitions, and therefore they will be having a chance to showcase their commitment. In particular, they would actually at large benefit from such initiatives. Doing the good is actually a good thing for inside the homeland, and that should be started by ourselves, and we should be doing the role model for the sustainability. Till the region see on the ground what we are doing. We have the Green Initiative of Saudi Arabia, the Middle East Initiative. On the environmental level, we are in dire need of such initiatives, as the region had been negatively affected at large. They are working on one hand, as we've seen several countries try to execute the same commitment, and if we manage to get the momentum, so we have a special challenge or a special market like the others, we may name some of them, and sometimes we'd be accused that we are just negotiators or harsh negotiators. Yet, the wise men may say that they spent a long time in discussing, for instance, the sixth article. But I promised you in Glasgow that we would have a special market of our own. So this is not our ambition myself, it is the ambitions of the youth, and the youth would be rely on that and would be having a great opportunities for fulfill it. Look, do we need to make different discussions in guaranteeing such a commitment to be more abiding? They are in the context of the atmosphere of policies, and they may pose such a question. So it is a proposed question whether they are not abiding commitments. So what about the idea of commitment or abidement? Is it forward that we should accept it? It is the nature of this matter, despite to guarantee that these commitments are not just words. Certainly, some countries have some legal commitments that been formulated in and in the context of the legislations. But if we were talking about the idea of hydrogen, this region can be produced and a very low-cost hydrogen, as said by His Royal Highness, as what's happening in Saudi Arabia. And if we look at this region, the third of the space is available that could be used in the solar energy. And 50% has the ability of generating the wind energy, as mentioned before, is the idea of drawing the role model in leadership that is not for the others to do, but you should yourself do it yourself. The idea of not be deviated to setbacks. We've already made close negotiations in Glasgow and Paris, and in my perspective that such negotiations should be the main line for our aspiration, and I think that the youth would have more concern if they have or witnessed any deterioration or to maintaining the 1.5 to tops Celsius degree tops, and this goal should be the core part of this negotiation, such as the dialogue and mitigations and other measurements, that matters will get worse. And if we couldn't have managed to maintain the 1.5 Celsius degree. Your Excellency, Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, I've seen that your notions about the idea of the 1.5 degree, if we draw a picture of what happened before, and this goal has been decreased at larger scales. So what about the efficacy of what we've been done? And would it be possible to ask you if you comment on the issue of the commitment, and not only in the case of Egypt, but among the comprehensive perspective, how you would encourage during the negotiations on the self-commitment and to let the people commit themselves without have any legislations. Naturally, the COP and the other measurements, they are as they are, like, and they are exposed to be dangerous. If we try to get to create something that is not based on, and the idea that we should move on to the commitment context legally, you cannot do this without any agreement and the acknowledgement of moving forward. But there are parties they're not prepared to have a national commitment. The issue of a commitment, consensus regarding the importance of the climate work. So we have to, we should have the practicality and to move forward in a way that would lead to more than the promised targets or goals. There are recommendations, civil societies, there are legal context, there are government. They should provide incentives instead of pressure, and that should be focused. For example, the vast representations of the civil society in this conference, and that should be praised, and the idea of listening to opinions clearly, in particular on the second week of the discussions, as officials serve and fulfill their needs, and then we should be committed to that. And I hope, or rather I speculate of what we are doing to maintain our aspirations, but there is a minimum limit that was agreed upon in Paris and Glasgow that we should agree on such a limit that will be agreed upon. And I've heard a lot about such agreement. Would it be possible for me to give you any last chance for each of you to say a final word? Please do not be be minimized. One thing that to guarantee that will come out of the COP27 to be extended to the next COP for the guarantee of the climate work. Execution, implementations. I could continue and continue the implementation, the implementing on stipulated on the legal text and the conventions. If we had no momentum on the high official level, if we do not have agreement and a perception of such goals that cannot be achieved. Your Royal Highness, leadership based on the leadership and the role model. We are in need of such a sphere for achieving the zero level. We affirm our agreement as in Paris and Glasgow, the 1.5 degree, and said by His Royal Highness, which is in the meeting of the next year, and they are leaders of the 22 group. What I wish from them is to share the same aspirations they had in the previous COP, in this conference this year, because the leadership of the G22 and the commitment of what had been agreed upon in Paris and Glasgow is vital. Your Royal Highness, it's a matter we've agreed upon in both forums, and to be committed towards the 2 billion and 6 million populations of the whole world that they try to do to gain the living by burning the trees and cooking to very traditional tools for feeding themselves and their sons. I would like to see this opportunity to call the whole world, that we should have be comprehensive and to consider the needs of everybody, and we should not close our eyes on the third of the population of the world if we're not concerned about the cost of life. Might cause great dangerous issues rather than the climate change, and to increase the carbon footprint to reach our aspiration to 10 million cultivated trees that would allow us to save the prosperity of 1.6 billion population. If we're not paying attention to this, I cannot see how would face this issue globally. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Royal Highness, Your Excellency, Minister of Energy, Minister, Royal Highness, the Minister of Environment in UAE, Your Excellency, Mr. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry, and the President of the COP27, and Mr. Ang Cheng, the President of the COP26. Thank you very much. Your Royal Highness, do you wish to say a word about prosperity? Once again, based on the spirit of start first. I wish to say that we are going to launch or to establish a circle carbon center of information, and we are welcome the others to join us to exchange expertise as well as the learned lessons. And I think it is essential that we'll start to be operative the 1st January of 2023, and we used to talk about the COP and in 2023 we'll host the Climate Week of the Middle East and the North of Africa, and all our friends are invited, as well as we've worked with the ESCWA for establishing a regional hub for concerning about increasing emissions, and we've worked with them the past year, and the next year we'll launch and establish this center in the Riyadh city to assist the whole region and those who are concerned about this matter. Thank you very much. Thank you. You'd give us a very important lesson to do. I thank you very much for your opinions, the invitation for working, particularly to guarantee that we're not going to achieve anything without implementation. Thank you, and I wish you a good day. Please be seated. We have a clear orientation of what we should do for the upcoming years. How the giant corporations would innovate to facilitate the reach the zero tolerance. Thank you very much. It is very great to be here in this session.
It's the world's most witnessed event. The Mother of the World invites you to confront together the climate crisis. Efforts united in fulfilling global goals. Solutions for the world's most pressing challenges. COP27, Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, 2022.